If we were a team that was on, the cusp of contending, then okay, some of these deals would make a little bit more sense. You're giving up a lot in order to get that piece that's going to push you over. But we're basically at ground zero. We got to build ourselves up. I don't necessarily see any of these moves being good for a team that's just trying to rebuild. Hey, what's going on? I'm Keith here at Sports Vibes TV, and two more targets are off the board for the New York Knicks. Now, the Milwaukee Bucks have been wheeling and dealing, and they've made two major acquisitions, one for Jrue Holiday and one for Bogdanovic. Now, I've heard a lot of Knicks fans suggesting the Knicks should go out and target them, but once you hear what some of these, trade pieces are, you might be a little bit skeptical. So let's just jump right into the trades. All right, so the first deal that they're going to touch on is okay. So this is going to be for Bogdanovic. So they're going to be sending over Donte DiVincenzo, who's a young guard. I like him. I've drafted him in a couple dynasty fantasy leagues myself, and he, when he's given time, he's been pretty productive. He was looking pretty decent in the playoffs last year too. They finally gave him some minutes in the playoffs, and he was, serviceable. So you can only expect him to get better. They're giving up DJ Wilson and also Ersan Ilyasova. So the biggest piece in this trade, I would say, is Donte DiVincenzo. The others, you can live without. Now, the big deal was the trade for Jrue Holiday. Listen to what they're giving up for Jrue Holiday. They're giving up Eric Bledsoe, George Hill, 3 first-round picks, and then on top of that, they're also giving up the rights to swap in 2024 and 2026. Now, if this isn't going all in, I'm not sure what is. And to me, if I were a Bucks fan, the scary part is Jrue Holiday is on an expiring deal and Giannis is on an expiring deal. So all these moves were made without getting guaranteed extensions from these two players. So, I don't necessarily know if I would be ecstatic as a Bucks fan. Yes, the team got better, but did the team get good enough to necessarily beat some of the monsters over in the West? I'm still skeptical, but they added shooting around Giannis, which is something that they needed to do desperately. It's just going to see whether or not these pieces come together and mesh. Now, as a Knicks fan, I'm not really worried about that. That's the Bucks' problem. They're going to have to deal with it. But when you're looking at some of these trades, I did the CP3 trade, this trade with Jrue Holiday, a lot of these trades for these point guards, teams are getting beat over the head. And if, this would explain to me why the Knicks have been so quiet in this initial, trade period. If this is what the GMs are trying to get, then, the Knicks are doing the right thing and not going out there and giving up these pieces or these, large deals in order to acquire players that might not necessarily be in the long-term future. Like if we were a team that was on, the cusp of contending, then okay, some of these deals would make a little bit more sense. You're giving up a lot in order to get that piece that's going to push you over. But we're basically at ground zero. We got to build ourselves up. I don't necessarily see any of these moves being good for a team that's just trying to rebuild. So let me know what you guys think. Are you happy that the Knicks have been fairly quiet in this initial period? Or are you expecting them or want them to do a lot more? All right. So once again, I'm Keith, host of Sports Vibes TV, and I'm out.